Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I am Ryan Bolin. Thank you all for joining me once again. So let's continue this discussion of the mainstream leftist liberal media pushing this narrative that Trump will be the next Hitler. He's going to be a dictator. He's going to put y'all through hell, right? Okay. Apparently on MSNBC Saturday, and I did see and hear what this woman said. It's this reverend that essentially said in an interview that, Trump is going to be the next Hitler, and we should not have this weasel in office. I mean, she literally called him man a weasel. I don't know if this happened before this alleged assassination attempt or after, because so much stuff has been going on, right? What I'm going to do, I did get a chance to hear her say this, and I was sickened by it. But I'm going to read you a transcript of this reverend and what she said, and we're going to get right into this because it's the mainstream leftist liberal media that is pushing a narrative that I believe, as well as other content creators, YouTube content creators believe, is actually what is inciting unstable minds and people in this country to commit acts that are unspeakably evil. Okay. But it says, Reverend Dr. Jackie Lewis, I guess it says, I don't know. These people have some of the weirdest names, said on MSNBC's broadcast of the Saturday show that former President Donald Trump is, quote, exactly like Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. Okay, here we go. Host Jonathan Caphart said, quote, give me your response to what Donald Trump is doing. Lewis said, these apparently her words, I know because I did actually listen to it. It's outrageous, but expected by an authoritarian who wants to take us to Nazi Germany. Now, let me say something about the idea of Trump being authoritarian. Is Trump authoritarian? Yes, he is. I agree with that part. He is authoritarian. He speaks with authority. He walks with authority. He speaks with, he's a man of authority. I do agree with that. Trump is not a wimpy, babified, wimpy, well, whatever. He's not like Biden. He's not a puppet like Biden. He's a real man. So in terms of him being an authoritative figure, I agree with that part. He is an authoritarian, okay, in the sense that you should have some authority as a leader. Authority means the right to do something. You should have the right to implement certain things, implement certain laws and measures to protect the rights of the people. And this is what I believe Trump represents in terms of his authoritarian personality, okay? But let's go on. It's outrageous but expected by an authoritarian who wants to take us to Nazi Germany. This is what this fool said. We exploited, I said it. Well, I said it because anyone that claims to be a man or woman of God and speaking crazy stuff like this, you're a fool. And I said it because the Bible said you are. So I'm speaking what the words say. Anyway, we exploited racism, fascism to Nazi Germany. We know how to do it. She continued, let's not pretend that Donald Trump isn't exactly like Mussolini, exactly like Hitler. He is that guy. Listen to what this person is saying. This is supposedly a reverend, okay? I want to say something to the American people. I live in a neighborhood, Jonathan. You and I both have white partners. I live in a nice mixed neighborhood with all kinds of people, including Republican people who are nice people, who shovel your grass, who care about the neighborhood, care about the world. What is she talking about? Care about the world, right? You nice people don't want this guy just because your economy worked better for 5 minutes under his regime. You nice Christians, you kind, loving Jewish people, we're not these people. We're not these people. Lewis added, and we're not going to, and this is the part that really ticked me off, and we're not going to get what we want if we elect this fascist authoritarian weasel. End of discussion, end of article. Yeah, I heard her say it, I read her saying it, you heard that, okay. My question inevitably is, who's pushing the rhetoric? That's number one. And secondly, and I say this all the time, what do most people know about Hitler? Everybody keeps pushing this. These leftist radical liberals on the mainstream media constantly pushes this rhetoric about Hitler. Trump being the next Hitler, Trump being the next Hitler, Trump being the next Hitler. But let me say this. Nazism is not a threat to this country. The threat to America is not Nazism. The threat to America is communism. And the mainstream media reporters and journalists and liberal politicians are classic examples of Marxist ideology. They know how to work it, baby. They know how to work it. They know how to work the words. They're doing it well because we're in such a divided time in our country. It is out of this world. They're working it perfectly. And you have people that are reverends, right? That are getting on these shows. I don't know how on these news shows, and I don't know how much money they're getting paid because I'm pretty sure they're not getting it they're not doing it for free. Getting on here and spreading these false narratives about this man without any evidence whatsoever to prove or even remotely prove that Trump is going to be the next Hitler. As I said earlier, yes, he speaks with authority, but you ought to have some authority. You ought to speak with some authority. You're the freaking president of the United States. And although we have a system of checks and balances, the president is not completely powerless. He does have some autonomy. Okay? And a president should walk with regal. He should be someone that has some authority. So in that sense, Trump is an authority. He's not a weasel like this reverend called him. See, it's crazy to me. Here's what ticks me off. One of the things that ticks me off about the radical left. During the debate, Kamala Harris accused Trump of name calling. And yet your party, Kamala, Chameleon, whatever your name is, okay, does the same thing. This reverend, I'm pretty sure she supports you. And she called Trump a weasel. We can't get this. We don't let this weasel into the office. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, man, because see, people are not catching it. If Trump gets in office, let's see for these 4 years how much of Hitler he's going to push. Because if anyone knows anything remotely about the history of Hitler, that would be some severe, crazy stuff that would happen in this country if Trump was the next Hitler. It's mind control, people. It's mind control. It's mind control. It's mind control. It's mind control. I'm going to keep saying that until people get it, man. It's mind control. They're twisting you, my brothers and my sisters. You're being hoodwinked. You're being bamboozled. You're being led astray. You're being run amok. They're playing games with your mind. It's not conservatives. It's these radical, liberal, leftist news media outlets. It's these radical, liberal, leftist politicians. And it's these nutbags out in the street that are unstable. Is all people like that in the left? Of course they're not. So I don't want to hear nobody on the comment section being butthurt saying I'm talking about them. Look, I'm not talking about you, but if the shoe fits, wear it. If you got this mindset and the shoe fits you, wear it. Okay? It is what it is. You can't handle the truth, but it's the truth. All right? If you have that radical mindset, it fits you. Okay? It's a size 10, size 8, size 9. If it fits you, it fits you. Okay? But that's the deal. They're playing with the people's mind. It is the radical left that's twisting the minds of the American people. And we have people like this that are getting on mainstream news media and pushing this rhetoric. Now, let's sum this up. Can we say beyond a shadow of a doubt that the rhetoric that these people are pushing, the left is pushing, is leading to assassination attempts of the president? We can't prove it. We can only imply, right? There's no proof to prove that, although we can imply it is true. Now, let me say this, and I'm surely going to sum this up. Let's talk about Hitler. Okay? They're talking about Trump is going to be the next Hitler. Well, let's talk a little bit about Hitler and Hitler's Nazi Germany. And I said this in previous videos. I'm going to bring it up here. It needs to be spoken of. When it comes to rhetoric and how rhetoric stirs up the people to think a certain way and to believe a certain thing. Hitler, and I'm omitting some stuff, wanted to get rid of the Jews. But he had to find a way to get rid of them and be justified. He had to get people on his side. So the Nazi Germany would create movies. They would create movies, okay? They had movies, okay? And pamphlets and so forth that demonize the Jews. They would have movies where they would show rats scurrying against the base of buildings. And then they would show Jewish merchants, right? And store owners, and they would connect the two together. You get the point. The vermin, the rats, and the Jews. In other words, and then they would have a commentary over it, insinuating that the Jews were no different than these rats. Or basically, that's all they are. They're rats. They're rats that need to be exterminated. So when the extermination of the Jews took place, a significant number of German residents, German people, supported the regime to annihilate the Jews. Why? Because of the rhetoric that they were pushing and the poison that they were pushing towards the Jews. This is not my opinion. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is history. It might help some people to do a little bit of reading. It ain't bad to read. It's kind of good, you know. Okay, this is history. This is how Hitler was able, the real Hitler, was able to get a significant number of German people to hate on the Jews. Now, you know where this is going. They're blaming Trump for, they're saying that Trump is going to be the next Hitler. He's going to be the next Hitler. He's going to be the next, till they booty hole opening up. I find that interesting because they're doing the very thing that the Nazi Germany's under Hitler was doing when it came to demonizing the Jews. But Trump is going to be the next Hitler? You idiot scumbag pieces of trash are the ones doing the very thing Hitler was doing. Man, shut up. Shut up, man. Let me get out of here. Let me get out. I got to go to work and I got to do some writing. I ain't got time for these fools. I ain't got time for it. This person here, this reverend, God ain't in that. God is not in that. The Holy Spirit is not resting on this person. And every word she says is going to be held against her in the judgment day. Let's end it right there. What do you think about what this woman said? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.